Hi there. How are you? Well, the carpet creature is taking over. As soon as I made some nasty remarks about this
Look at
carpet,
this.
the first of the
Growing
week, it
underneath
has
here.
started to breed.
If that were not enough, look at your chicken.
We have a rubber chicken back here covered with carpet. We've called the Burbank National Guard, but he was out. We're trying to get the California...
Like the tomato that ate Burbank.
We're trying to get the, usually in those films, the National Guard shows up and they have flamethrowers. We've got to do something. It's out of control.
Yeah, your desk is almost covered.
We have a long show tonight, so let's get going. My first guest is, I'm sure you know about her. I've heard about her in the news. She's a fifth grader who wrote to and received the now famous letter from Soviet leader Yuri Andropov. Would you welcome 10-year-old Samantha Smith? Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Are you getting tired of answering all the questions that people like myself and the people on the news show are asking you?
Yes.
Or just, you are. Do you like being on television?
Yeah.
Had you ever been on television before you wrote the letter?
No.
Now, you've been on Nightline, I understand, and you were on news shows, and the press has showed up and everything, right? Mm-hmm. I've got a copy of the letter here. First of all, it says, Dear Samantha, the General Secretary of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, Yuri V. Andropov, has asked me to forward to you his reply to your letter. In doing so, I personally also wish you joy and happiness in your life. And it comes from Anatoly Dobrynin, the ambassador to the Soviet Union of the United Nations, right? How'd you get the idea to write the letter?
Well, nuclear war has been on TV a lot lately, and it got to be so steady on TV, I got scared.
You got tired of hearing about all the threats and
Yeah.
what we're going to do to them?
Scared,
You got scared.
I wrote to Yuri Andropov to see what was going to happen.
Yeah. Did you ever expect in your wildest imagination you'd get an answer?
Yeah, hopefully just a small, friendly letter back.
Kind of a form letter type of thing. Nice hearing from you and good luck and so forth. So how long did it take before you got your reply?
Oh, I sent it last fall, so it took about a year.
About a year. Probably the translation takes a long time. You were bothered about nuclear war. Mm-hmm. You did this all on your own?
Right.
I understand people thought it was a joke when you told them that you'd received a reply. They didn't believe you, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no. Well, when you told people that you'd received a reply, didn't they doubt it for a while?
No.
They didn't?
No.
I thought they did.
No.
Somebody told me your classmates thought you were kidding them.
My classmates, yeah.
Ah, that's what they told me then. They didn't believe you.
Right.
You took the letter to school?
My father wouldn't let me.
He wouldn't? Why not?
Afraid I was going to lose it.
Are you going to lose it? Now, I have a copy here, and it's rather a long letter, so I certainly won't read all of it, because I'm sure it's been published, has it not?
Yes.
Somewhere. But it says, Dear Samantha, and he says he received your letter. It says, it seems to me, and I take it from your letter, that you are a courageous and honest girl, resembling in some way Becky, Tom Sawyer's friend from the well-known book of your compatriot Mark Twain. All kids in our country, boys and girls alike, know and love this book. Did that kind of surprise you?
Yes.
That he knew about Mark Twain? Then he goes on, and let's see. And he tells you a lot of things in here about... why don't you tell me the main thing that he told you, that you remember?
Well, about World War II and how he didn't want another war.
Right.
That's what... He gave me a little history lesson.
He did. Told you he didn't want... Well, they suffered greatly, Russia, in the Second World War. And he said he didn't want another world war.
Right.
And anything else that he said that you remember?
Not really.
Huh? Well, let me check the letter here. Let's see what he said. He says, we do in the Soviet Union endeavor to do everything so that there will be no war between our two countries. This is the wish of everyone in the Soviet Union. Soviet people know all too well how disastrous and terrible a war can be. Then he talks about the war, the Second World War with Germany. And it goes on. He says, I believe this is sufficient reply to your second question. Why do you want to conquer the world, or at least the United States? Now, he says we want nothing of the kind, right?
Right.
Yeah. Nobody in our beautiful country, workers or peasants, writers or doctors, children or grown-ups, or members of the government, wants war, be it big or small. Did you feel better after you wrote the letter and you got this reply?
Yes, I really did.
Do you believe him? Do you think he means what he says?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, that when a Soviet leader comes out, I think the Soviet leaders have children, they have grandchildren, and I think when they come out and say they don't want nuclear war, that is probably in their best interest too, right?
Yeah.
So I think when he says it, you got to believe that he means it. Who else are you going to write? Have you written anybody else?
I've written Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth? Did you get an answer?
Yeah.
You did? What did you write Queen Elizabeth about?
I just told her I liked her.
You just liked her?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of a letter did you get back?
She just said thanks.
That queen just runs off at the mouth sometimes. That was all that happened? She just said thank you very much?
Oh, yeah.
You just said you liked her. Who else have you been thinking of writing? Anybody else?
Yeah, Reagan.
You're going to write President Reagan? Now, what would you ask President Reagan?
I don't know that.
Well, just think of anything. What would you like to ask him? Just think about it a second.
I don't know.
Yeah? Would you like to ask him the same things that you asked Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Andropov here?
Yeah, I guess so.
Would you like to know anything about the First Lady or anything about what would you like to know about the White House and how they live?
Well, I've already been there.
Well, let me ask you a question. What's it like? Did you go on a tour of the White House?
Oh, yeah. I can't really remember much.
Yeah. Did you meet the president?
No, he was out.
He was out. Did you see his office?
I think so.
You think you saw his office? How come you happened to go to the White House?
Well, we were in Washington, D.C., visiting some friends.
Yeah.
And so, since the White House was there, we went to see it.
Good enough reason. Yeah. What do you want to do when you get older? You think you'd like to study history? You seem to like history a little bit.
I hate history.
You hate history? Okay, let's try another subject. What would you like to be? What would you like to do?
Veterinarian.
You'd like to be a veterinarian? Oh, good for you. You must have pets then.
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have a Chesapeake Bay Retriever, a Siamese cat, and a money cat.
Yeah. Do you know how to take care of them already at your age?
Yes.
What's the most important thing you should do with a dog, if you have a dog? Hmm?
Feed them.
Feed them. That's why I kept losing them. I remember Rover went just like that. Never fed him. No, I'm just teasing. Well, you're a delightful young lady, and you're a very pretty young lady, too.
Thank you.
And I thank you for being here. Are you going to stay out here in Hollywood for a while?
Not long. We're staying over one more night.
Yeah, what would you like to see out here? And have you ever seen this show before?
No, I haven't.
That's all right. It's on kind of late. Had you ever heard of me before?
Yes.
Now, how did you hear of me? You'd never heard of me before you came on this show?
Yes, I have.
Well, you had?
Yes.
Yeah. Did they tell you anything about me?
They told me you were a comedian.
Did you believe them?
Yes.
Yes, okay. What are you going to go see out here? You're going to go to Disneyland,
Yeah,
stuff
we're going
like
to
that?
go to Disneyland tomorrow.
Good for you. Well, you're a very nice young lady, and I admire you for writing the letter and coming on the show and sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice time out here. We'll see you soon again. Heard you were a comedian.
Yes. Another one of your great fans.
Believes Andropov, but doesn't believe me. She a nice girl?
Lovely.
Yes, sweet little girl.
Yes.
Okay, we should write somebody sometime. Who would you? Freddie de Cordova. I found out Freddie when he was a kid. Rode away to a foreign leader also when he was, and got a lovely letter.
From whom?
Napoleon. asking a lot of the same questions.
Yeah. How is Josephine?
How was Josephine?
It wasn't a lovely letter.
Well, it was a nice letter. We'll take a break. Bob and Ray are here tonight, David Weiss and Jennifer Beals, so stay where you are.